Hi guys, so I'm Larissa and I decided to start a YouTube channel. I don't know if this is actually gonna go through. I obviously have nothing better else to do and I decided why not start now. So yes, this is my YouTube channel. I'm just gonna do a quick get ready with me story time type of situation. It's like one big story time and then another like tiny story time. But yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about some stupid shit that I have in high school and Tinder passport. We'll be posting my products down below if you want to check out what I'm using, because I didn't explain anything that I'm using. So if you're really interested in what I'm using, you can check down below. They're in order of what I used. If you just look them up at Sephora, a lot of the stuff I bought at Sephora, Ulta, Target, so stuff like that. But yeah, so this is my makeup, this is my story time, and hope you guys enjoy. I decided let's just do a little get ready with me. That's so weird saying that. I look like this way, it's because like I have my monitor, not a monitor, but I hooked it up to my computer so I can see like if I'm in frame or shit looks weird. So let's get started. All right, we are, I don't even know, like 4 months into this whole pandemic. Like I don't even know what's going on anymore. Like I don't even know. The beginning of quarantine was like Tiger King and like me trying to get drunk. It was toxic. And I really wanted to get a summer job because like I'm in nursing and I'm in nursing school and I can't work during school because like my life is just school at that point of my life. And sadly I can't get a job because of the fact that we're in a really huge pandemic, which is obviously like reasonable. I started watching a lot of Zayn and Heath Unfiltered. So that's another thing. Right before we hit a pandemic, I started watching a lot of like David Dobrik's vlogs, and I didn't understand the hype. I was like, what is this? Like, why is everybody obsessed with David Dobrik? Who's David Dobrik? Like, what? Like I wasn't in that part of YouTube. I was just like in the beauty world, you know. I was like Desi Perkins, Katie, you know, Jackie Aina, like those are the people that I love and watch because like unproblematic. I started watching a lot of like their vlogs and I was like, oh my god. And I noticed that like Zayn and Heath and sometimes Dom, like some of the members of the vlog squad, like they're so funny. Like David's funny, but I feel like David is just like, everyone's obsessed with David because he actually creates the content. And so, you know, I got really into like their vlogs and I like realized I was like, Zayn and Heath are like super funny. They have a podcast with each other and they have a podcast with what's them, Matt and Mariah. So they started talking about high school and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, high school was insane. Like the things that I put up with, yeah. Like sometimes I talk to my friends about high school and I'm like, you guys, like, I feel like they don't understand what I'm like trying to say. Like there's a lot of shit that like I put up with, like the toxic shit. The fuck did I go through those headaches? For me, like my sophomore and my junior year were the most like dramatic. Just like, why? Like why did I put up with that? Why did I do that? This got me thinking about this story. And it's a funny story. I'm not gonna go like anything too deep. Like maybe if I continue this YouTube journey, I'll talk about, you know, other stuff, other like real shit. You know, every time I tell people this story, they're like, are you serious? Like you're lying. I'm like, I wish I was. Okay, so I'm gonna try to talk and do my makeup at the same time. Let's see if she can chew and walk at the same time. All right. So back in high school, I was a junior, and usually high schools in my city, I think it's high schools in my city, I don't know if other high schools do this, I'm pretty sure, but they have this class party the night before the last day of school. So it's like Thursday night and it's called senior yell. And I was like, it's like the talk of the year. Like your junior year, that's the one thing you look forward to, is that party. The year comes to a close and around April, that's when they start planning this party. Okay, so let's start the beginning, the big mistake. Okay, and if anyone I went to high school with was watching this and was part of this little creation, you know it was a mistake too. Okay, so they created a class senior yell t-shirt, and it wasn't even a t-shirt, it was a tank top. Okay, and if I could insert a picture here, I will, but it said qualified to party and then a koala in the middle, and they were charging $25. So the shirt was your entrance fee to this party, right? And like, I am not wearing that. You will not catch me spending $1, let alone $25 for a shirt like that. I get the shirt, or I were to get a wristband for like 20 bucks or something, and I was like, give me the wristband. Like, I am not wearing that shit in public. I don't even care if 400 students are wearing this to this party. Like, you will not catch me slipping with that shit. Originally, it was gonna be me and 3 friends, my best friend at the time and 2 of my other friends. And one of my friends, her sister was gonna be our DD, right? So we had this whole plan. But my biggest situation was, how was I gonna tell my dad and my mom? I was like, fuck, like, how am I gonna do this? Of course, you know, I'm like scared. I'm like, how the hell is my dad gonna like not see me in my house Thursday night, you know, because like, what the hell? And mind you, we had finals the next day. Like, this was finals week, okay? So you can imagine the stress that I had, because I had an English final the next morning, and I only had 1 final. Everybody just had 1 final. So I was in band. So every year they had like the most really talented people, they would take them to Austin and they would make them perform these memorized solos for judges. And it was literally the same night that they were leaving, the same day on Thursday was the same day as the party. You know, my dad knew I was not good at playing the clarinet. You know, he knew I couldn't fool him. So, you know, he's like, babe, you're not Beethoven, you're not Mozart. Like, I know you don't play good. Come up with this plan to make a fake permission slip, and I told them, I was like, hey, they're inviting me to Austin, you know, and I'm going with, you know, my 2 friends that I'm going to the party with. I'm going with them because they're like giving me like a paid trip, because they need help like loading up instruments on buses and all this stuff. Like, you know, I made up a lie, and my dad believed me. So he goes and he signs this fake permission slip. He signs the fake permission slip, and he thought I was gonna be gone Thursday and Friday, so he was gonna see me till like Friday night. So my whole plan was I was gonna stay at my friend's house that night, like Thursday night after the party, and then go to school. We were all gonna go to school together, take our final. I was gonna chill back at her place, and then I was gonna go back home. That was the plan. So yeah, this is what happens when you have strict parents. Like, this is when you have strict parents. Like, what can you do? The week of this party, you know, my dad already signed the permission slip. We were ready to go. Everything was great. My best friend at the time bailed out. She was like, I don't want to go. Like, I was supposed to sleep over at her house because she lived like a minute from me. Oh, I was still gonna go, and that was the plan. So I told my mom, I was like, hey, like, there's a party going on. I trusted my mom more. She was like a little bit more lenient, and she's like, look, if the cops come, don't call me. Like, if you're gonna go through this plan, you're gonna lie to your dad, you're gonna do X, Y, and Z, you're gonna figure it out. And I was like, bet. Just turned 17. I was a junior in high school. I had just turned 17, and she wasn't too thrilled, but what could she do, you know? And she didn't tell my dad. She was like, I'm not a part of this. Like, I'm not gonna get into an argument with your dad. Like, your dad is literally will cut your head off. So I was like, bet. That week, Texas was underwater. And my dad's like, how are you guys gonna go to San Antonio if like San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas like is literally underwater? Like, I don't understand how you guys are gonna do that. And I was like, they're gonna figure it out, you know, like if the weather is gonna take, you know, a different route, whatever. And my dad's like, okay, you know, and he really really was like believing it. Right, Thursday comes, and I'm in 3rd period. I'm in school. My dad thinks I'm on my way to San Antonio. He calls me and he's like, hey, he's like, I've been watching the news. Like, are you guys already like there? What's going on? Because he thought I left that morning. And I was like, no, you know, like, we're still on our way. Like, it's raining, but it's not bad, you know, whatever. So he's like, okay, well, like, call me if you let me know, right? Like, let me know if you need anything, or like if you guys are gonna turn around, like, what are you guys gonna do? So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I get out of school around 2:30 because, again, like, it was finals week, and like each day you take a final, you don't have to go back to that class anymore. So, you know, you get out of school pretty early. So obviously, like, I kind of felt bad that my dad was like really worried, but I was like, you know what, I'm just trying to party. I'm just trying to have some fun. It is what it is. And I go to my friend's house and I stay there for like 6 hours until 10 o'clock at night. And you know, I'm there at her house where I'm studying for my final for the next day because I still have a final. Her sister was going to be our DD, so we're getting ready, and this is where shit started to hit the fan. Like, our classmate, this group chat, and like I don't know what happened, but like they were basically trying to text the whole like student body to meet at Academy, the sports store. So I was like, for what? Like, what's the point? So basically the reason why they did that was because they didn't want to give out the location of the party, and if the location was to get out and someone else were to find out, like if for example, so the shitty situation was upperclassmen, the seniors that are graduating, have this really shitty thing of like trying to ruin or like raid the party, you know, because that's how tradition is. I don't know what it is. They were trying to keep it like super low-key, which is smart. I understand that, but it fucked up everything. So we pull up to Academy, and mind you, there's like hundreds of cars. It's 10 o'clock at night. There's hundreds of cars pulling up to Academy, like as if it's like a fucking funeral procession. This like Academy was near the highway where there's like a shit ton of cops constantly up and down the highway. I mean, it was so obvious that like they're pulling up and there's like people sticking their head out the window. I mean, like acting like actual dumbasses. And sadly, we park. So we wait, and then, so side note, I don't like to drink, and I personally like Lucky Charms better than I like to drink. So I made arrangements with one of my friends like Wednesday, and I was like, hey, you know, like I know that you sell Lucky Charms and I want some for the party. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, just give me the money at the party and like I'll give it to you. So the plan was to do this at the party, and he starts texting me and calling me while I'm at Academy. And mind you, my friends don't know I made these arrangements. Of course, my sister's friend didn't know I made these arrangements. Calling me, like texting me. He's like up my ass. And I'm like, what the hell? Blowing up my phone. And I start freaking out. And I'm like, so I answer the call and I'm like, hey, well, what's going on? Like, like, hey, you know? And he's like, hey, I have your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I know. I'm like, but like, meet me at the party. And he's like, what car are you at? And I was like, oh, I'm in this red car with my friends. And I'm like, I'm parked next to, you know, this other car. He hangs up, comes over to the car and knocks on the window. And I'm in the back, so it's like kind of like a Mustang. There's like no window for me, so I like stick my head through the seat. And I'm like, yes, what's going on? Hey, you know, like, he's like, hey, do you have my money? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, like, here you go. And I try to like sneak it. So he snatches the money from me and he drops the Lucky Charms like baggie in the car. And it's dark, I can't see shit. And he just leaves. And I'm like, what the my friend's sister kind of like knows what's going on, and she's like, dude, she's like, you better shove that somewhere where the sun don't shine, baby, because if we get stopped, we're all fucking screwed. What do you think I did? That happened. I knew the night was not gonna go to plan. Dude, like, this was supposed to be a low-key transaction. The whole point of meeting Academy was that one car. So the point was not sending out the location. One car, one dumbass was gonna literally take everyone, all like hundreds of cars, to this party, like not obvious at all. So we started seeing cars like getting out of the parking lot, boom, 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 boom. So my friend's like, okay, here we go. So we leave and we look over, and there's like just like this huge line. I mean, it's so obvious. So we start leaving and we look over, and there's like 3 cars that are already like out of the line, and they get pulled over from the cops. And we're like, oh my god, everyone is wearing this stupid tank top. So it's like, why is everybody dressed the same? Why is everybody dressed like a little frat? Like, why? What's going on? Like, the cop wasn't gonna be stupid. And so we start going and we get lost. Like, the car that was supposed to be like leading everyone like disappears. Like, we don't even know where we're at. and there's like 7 cars following us. Like we were in the middle of this lane, in this line, and there's like 7 cars behind us, and we're like lost as fuck. And I think one of the people behind us like ended up calling me. He's like, hey, he's like, where are you guys going? Like, we're following you guys. We're like, don't follow us, because we have no idea where the fuck we're going. And we're driving in the middle of Timbuktu. It's literally like Ranchero City. We don't even know where the hell we're at, and it's like already like 10:30 at night, and I'm like, oh my god, like where are we going? So I had to call my friend's ex-boyfriend. She's like, I don't want to call him, and I was like, give me the phone. Like he was already there, because I saw him on Snapchat posting stuff. So I'm like, dude, send me your location through WhatsApp, because I have no idea where we're going. So we finally get there, and you know, we were wearing the wristband. I was wearing the wristband because I didn't have the shirt, and the upperclassmen, like, they had older brothers that were like 2 years older than us that went to our high school. Friend's ex-boyfriend, you know, I say hi, whatever, and he, you know, he's walking us to this party, and I see like these older brothers are like guarding the place, like, because I said, you know, like the upperclassmen tried to like raid the party, so they were like guarding it like some fucking CIA Pentagon shit. And I was like walking in, and I was like, hello, kind sir, you know, like the place is packed, like packed. So we got there like pretty late, I guess. And I started looking for a little place to start doing my Lucky Charms, you know, because I didn't want people knowing I did that. You know, in high school, like I was a goody two shoes. You know, I walk, you see the halo on my head, baby. Like you see I'm Virgin Mary walking through class. Like that was me. And then to have people knowing that I did Lucky Charms, sir. Before, you know, I find my area, I'm walking with my friends, and this girl that I had for AP Spanish, she bumps into me. And she's like, oh my god, hi Larissa. And she's like drunk off her ass. Drunk. I mean, are you really drunk at 16 and 17? No, you're not. No, she hugged me, and I was like, girl, I don't know you like that. We're not friends like that. Like, ooh, get off. Fuck. And she's like, oh my god, let's take a picture. And I was like, do I look like a celebrity? Okay, baby, like let's take a little pic, you know, I'll be nice to you, whatever. So we take the picture, and my friends are like a foot away taking this picture. Take the picture. She turns to me, she starts laughing like I have something on my head, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Starts laughing at me, and she's like, oh my god, like I used to think you were such a bitch. I'm like, do I whoop her ass now or later? And she's like, Baba, like you're so funny, like oh my god, like you're so funny. And I'm like, it's like someone slapping you in the face and saying, but you're so pretty. I'm gonna take her solo cup. I was like, honey, it's 10:30. I think we've had enough for tonight, you know. So I walk away, and I was like, you know, little Karen Jr. was acting up, and I was like, I don't have time for that tonight. I find an area, and you know, I'm setting up shop, I'm setting up my cereal bowl, and I have 2 other friends that come up to me, and one is sober and one is like drunk. And my drunk friend is like, oh my god, is that Lucky Charms? Cool, like it's fine, like I'll share with you, no problem, girl. So she sits on the table, and she has her cup. So she sits down, she puts the cup next to my Lucky Charms, and it's like all in this like little, you know, it's on the bag, and I'm preparing it, you know, cooking up low, you know, cook. And she hops off she doesn't hop off, she falls off the table, knocks over her drink, spills all over my Lucky Charms. Bitch, like, are you serious? I was like, she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like she was genuinely sorry, but I was genuinely pissed. But I was like, you know what, this is what I get for lying, this is what I get for sneaking out of the house, this is what I get for conjuring up this entire plan and it going to shit. After that, started going downhill so fast, and sooner or later the cops came. The cops were called by I don't know who. It was like 1:30 in the morning at this point, and the cops came, and I was like, you white people told us there was not going to be cops. You white people told us we're going to have little white brothers guarding this place. You guys said that this was like private property, blah 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 blah. And y'all made us feel like this was not gonna happen. They're like, no, it's okay, like no one's gonna get arrested, blah blah blah. There was people drunk, there was people high. Ding. And how are we not gonna get arrested? How are they not gonna get our information? So friend calls her sister, she's like, hey, you need to come for us now. Like they're not letting us leave the premises unless we have an 18-year-old or like older, an adult, to pick us up. We're all 16 and 17 in this area, okay? We're all drunk or high or both, and there's hundreds of us. There's like 250 plus of us, maybe 300. I don't even know how many people were there. And it just got like fucking wild because the cops are in the front of the, like there's this entranceway and they're in the front and they're taking down everyone's name, first and last name. And I'm like, this is why I don't trust white people. We get stopped by this other girl, and you know, we were all friends with her, and she's like, hey, she's like, me and so don't have a ride, can you take us? And they all lived on the side of town, right? I lived on a different side of town. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So she's like, I have to go find, you know, I have to go find so like, I don't know where she's at. She was in the bathroom, like I can't find her. She goes and finds her friend. She comes back and her friend is pissed drunk. I mean, like Snooki season 4 in Italy drunk. I mean, she is off her rocker. We're gonna get past the cops, like they're not gonna let her go. So she starts hitting her. She's like, you better stop, like you better get your shit together, like you need to give the cop your name, like your full name, and we need to leave. And we're like in this like 20 person line, right? And I see my crush and he's behind me, you know, he's tall, he's cute. It is. The minute he starts opening his mouth, he's like, oh my god, he's like, I'm so scared. He's like, I'm gonna give him my middle name, like I'm not gonna give him my first name, like oh my god, like my mommy can't find out. I was like, sir, you're off my list. We see my friend's sister, and so my friend's sister had this tiny car. I mean, it was literally like only 4 people at max could fit in there, like comfortably. And you know, I go to the back with my other friend and our other friend, and then the drunk girl. So it's 3 of us, right? Sitting down. The drunk girl is across our lap, and she's drunk off her ass, and her head is in my lap, and I'm like, why did I agree to all of this? They dropped me off, and I go to bed, and my dad had no idea I was even home till the next morning. I was like, oh, I got in like at 4 in the morning, you know, we had to come back because the weather was so bad, blah blah blah. And he was like, oh, okay, like he had no idea. The guy had no idea. So my mom was like, so how was last night? And she did not know the cops came. She had no idea. I gave the cops my number. Like a couple years later, when I was safe enough to tell her, I did tell her the cops came and all this stuff. So I go to school the next morning, and I'm good. I'm not drunk or anything. I did have a couple drinks, but I wasn't like drunk off my ass. You guys, there was people that didn't even go home that night. I go to school and I go into my class, and it smells like cigarettes, it smells like alcohol, it's like disgusting. People slept in their cars that night and went to school the next morning to take a final and then just to go home. Like people were out here doing the most. Not even worth it at all. What a great way to end my junior year. That stupid party was a bust. In a nutshell, I graduated in 2016. I'm 22 now, so it's been 4 years. And it's crazy because, you know, I tell that funny story because it's like high school was just a joke. It was a big joke. It's like hella cracked. My heart when Harry Styles rescheduled his tour. Another thing I wanted to talk about. So beginning of quarantine, which I was like enjoying because Tinder, let's talk about Tinder for a second. Tinder came out with this thing called Passport, and I was like, what is this? And I ended up finding it on TikTok. Oh my god, that's another story. TikTok, I was like, what is this, you know? And it basically was that you could like swipe on anyone around the world. So I was like, what? Sir, sign me up. So because all these value guys, ma'am, if you guys are on Tinder and you know what I'm talking about, it's not it. 3 words: 5 and below, baby. 5 and below here in the valley. Like that's what you're getting. And I started swiping like in London because I was like, you know, obviously One Direction, like if they looking like this, baby, sign me up. No. Like I think One Direction were probably like the 5 hottest guys in the whole fucking UK. Not it. It was not it, chief. So I started swiping in Australia. And I started talking to this guy, and he was kind of like an underdog. Like I was like, like I don't know if this is gonna go anywhere. And I was like, that's another thing. Like you could see like the distance between each other, and you can obviously tell like I was pretty far apart. You know, it was like 8,000 fucking miles away, and I was 15 hours behind in Australia. So you know, he wasn't really replying because obviously like the time zones were like all messed up. And he had like followed me on Instagram, and you know, we started talking, whatever. He was like really sweet, and he kind of like stopped replying, and I was like, about a week passes by, and he randomly messaged me, and he's like, oh hey, sorry, you know, like I haven't hit you up, blah blah blah. And I was like, it's all good, like no worries, no worries. And we start talking, and he's asking me like if I like sports, and I was like, I like Golden State Warriors. Like I'm a bandwagon. Like don't ask me like statistics. Like I don't know shit. He asked me like what music I was into, and I said, oh, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I obviously said Harry Styles. And he's like, oh really? He's like, I like his recent album. And I'm like, you're into Harry Styles? Like you don't have to impress me, you know. The bar is at the floor right now. He's like, I really do. He's like, you know, my friend's little sister like went to a One Direction concert, and like I had to go, and like I genuinely like their music. And I'm like, you went to One Direction? Booking my flight to Australia quick. And you know, we start talking about like the albums and like Harry and like other music, and I was like, oh my god. Like he was just like such a sweetheart. Like he's really good looking. Find a guy like this where I live, impossible. Obviously we lost contact because like the time zones, and we didn't have that much. I'm not the one to like reach out. Like what am I gonna be bothering someone for like that, you know? But he was just so kind, and I just was like, ugh, just a sweetheart, honestly. But yeah, and I did meet other guys, but I think that one like really stuck out to me. I wonder why, but he was just so nice. And yeah, sadly, good things in my life don't last forever. It is what it is. You guys, this new Fenty lipsticks, they're the lipshine, I don't even know, they're the bomb. This is the color Makeout break. For my lip combo, I'm using Dose of Colors lip liner in Dime. It literally looks like a stylus pen. It's so bougie. I hate to say it, but I do like Kim Kardashian's lip liners as well in 1.5 and in 1. Honeylove lipstick from MAC. Just a nude. Just a nude. And this is Makeout Break from Fenty's. These are a fucking scam. Like, let me see. You can't even see any glitter. We are done. We are done. I did a quick story time. If it was boring and you actually went through this whole video, I'm impressed. If you're actually interested in the products that I have below, check them out. This is like my everyday routine. This is exactly what I use every single day to the shadows, the skincare. My skincare does change a lot, and my lips do change a lot. I don't use the same products just because I like to switch it up. The eyes usually stay the same. They're very neutral. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. I don't know if I'm going to continue this. Should I continue this? I don't know. It really is a lot of filming, a lot of talking. I normally, when I do my makeup, I do it in 20 minutes, and I've been filming for like an hour. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye.